Greetings, citizens of the Republic of Singapore. We are anonymous. Singapore's blatant discrimination against ethnic Indian and Malay businesses. If you aren't Chinese, you can't compete in Singapore. Dated November 30th, 2014, Singapore's Ministry of Manpower controls the employment of foreigners. Although Singapore's tiny population comprises of no more than perhaps 1.5 million local born with the rest 3.5 foreigners, the laws relating to employment, indeed in every other sphere, is clearly slanted in favor of ethnic Chinese, primarily Chinese from Communist China. This advantage given to the Chinese over other races is clearly in violation of the Constitution's Equal Protection Clause. But when have the tiny island's tin-pot dictators ever obeyed it? Briefly, this official racial discrimination in the island appears to originate from Lee Kuan Yew, Singapore's retired Prime Minister's personal views. The Chinese, he said, are hardworking, industrious and intelligent people, whereas the Malays are lazy and inefficient, while the Indians are good enough only to incessantly argue and cause trouble. Therefore the Chinese are preferred, and everything possible to help them must be done, and the hell to the lazy Malays and the troublesome Indians. I think Hitler said something similar. The Germans are the best and the Jews are simply trouble. So you help the Germans and you kill the Jews. Abdul Hamid Mohammed Farouk of Blue Diamond needed workers. His is an Indian restaurant. He doesn't speak any Chinese. According to the Ministry of Manpower, the services sector is comprises of restaurants, coffee shops, food courts and other approved food establishments. A work permit and like other visa categories such as the employment pass and S-pass comprise of unskilled and semi-skilled work which require lower salaries. All Farouk needed was someone to help him in his restaurant with simple jobs, i.e. work permit, not someone with a PhD in culinary science. But the law requires that work permits in the service sector can only be issued for applicants from approved countries, and the approved country is principally Communist China. See below. Approved source countries/territories. Services sector companies can recruit workers from the following countries/territories: Malaysia, People's Republic of China, PRC, North Asian sources, NAS, Hong Kong #, Macau, South Korea and Taiwan #Note. The foreigner must be holding a Hong Kong Special Administrative Region, HKSAR, passport. In other words, even though Blue Diamond is an Indian restaurant whose Tamil-speaking owner speaks no Chinese or Korean, in effect what the law says is that he has to employ someone from Communist China or Korea or Malaysia to help him in his Indian restaurant, and he may not under a penalty of the law employ an Indian national, which would be the most logical thing in his Indian restaurant, as anyone can see. On the other hand, Malay and Indian restaurants cannot employ Indians and are forced to employ Chinese nationals who cannot speak their language, and totally detrimental to their business. They have to employ Chinese even though the owner speaks no Chinese and the Chinese applicant speaks no Indian. Secondly, this is a clear violation of the Constitution, which requires equality between the races, by preferring Chinese over others. Thirdly, Singapore is run on an apartheid basis, not too different from erstwhile South Africa. Indians are allowed to work in construction as coolies but not allowed to work in hotels. Filipinos can work in hotels but not in construction. Filipinos can work as maids and hospital workers but not in restaurants, and so on and so forth, according to whims and fancies of Lee Kuan Yew, the dictator of Singapore, and his tin-pot tyrant, his son and their close friends who form the business in the Alice in Wonderland city-state, a country that limits your privileges not according to your merits but according to how you look and what is your race. We are anonymous. We are legion. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect